Send out my shares. I hope all is well with everybody. Welcome in. We're going to get started in just a second. Happy Wednesday. I was about to say happy Monday, but that's going all the way back at the beginning of the week. Happy Wednesday. I hope all is well with you. Today we're going to be talking about a self-rooted reset in plant-based healing and understanding how healing begins when we stop managing the symptoms that we're having. And how we need to start remembering who we are based on how not only how we feel, but also how our body is supposed to operate day to day when it comes to the foods that we eat, when it comes to the products that we use, and what our body is actually needing. Because a lot of us are sitting here believing that we need meat and we need dairy in order for us to survive, and without it we wouldn't survive, without it we wouldn't be healthy. And a lot of us are not realizing that we're doing ourselves a disservice by believing these things that are keeping us programmed into a society that is sick. Society is sitting here dealing with the issue of not honoring their body, not listening to their body, and then feeling like that there's something wrong with their body. And in reality, it's because you're not creating a space for you to heal, and you're not creating a space for your body to be comfortable and to be healthy. And so then now you're sitting here feeling pressured and rushed and not kind to yourself. There are plenty of people out here not being kind to themselves, thinking that there's something wrong with them because they can't lose weight, or they can't keep a healthy weight, or that they're feeling tired and waking up tired, so then they're consuming coffee because this is the only way for them to be able to get energy, right? And instead of you suppressing these symptoms and trying to manage them, why don't we reawaken what our body is actually supposed to do by having wisdom on what our body is supposed to operate like, so that we can remember the truth of what our body is actually supposed to be, and what space, what feeling, what energy. Because your body is not the enemy. Your body is your home. Your body is literally where you live until you leave this earth. And so if your body is not giving back to you, if your cycle is painful, if you are uncomfortable every single month when it comes to your menstruation, you have to look at why. You have to digest why. Why are these things happening to me? Why am I so tired yet I get enough sleep? Why am I not reaping the benefits of me eating foods that are supposed to be helping me? Why am I doing diets and they're not working for me? We need to be asking these questions of why. Why is it not working? Why is everybody doing diet culture and they're still sick? Why are there so many women dealing with hormonal imbalances? These are all questions that have to be answered when it comes to us becoming healthy and taking care of our body again. And so when you are in the space of being comfortable asking these questions, and you're in the space of ready to actually get the answers to these questions that you are having, you'll realize that you being tired is not just you being sleepy, but rather you're tired of waking up exhausted because you went to bed giving yourself no stabilizers. You went to bed not supporting yourself with the foods that you eat, which are AKA stabilizers, and then you use terrible toxic products on top of that, and this leaks into your bloodstream. This is being absorbed by your skin. And then on top of that, you're carrying emotional weight day by day because you emotionally eat, or you don't deal with stress, and you don't know how to do it properly. So then you use food as a coping mechanism because it gives you that dopamine response. Doing all these different things cause you to have brain fog. They cause you to have bloating. They cause your skin to be sitting here breaking out and having issues of not glowing and not feeling good, and having the issue of like eczema or like cystic acne and things like that. PMS, feeling like that you're having a punishment every single month when it comes to your menstrual cycle. Mood swings that hijack your peace. Dealing with the issue of anxiety that always there in the background, or panic attacks, or going in and out of depression episodes and you can't figure out why. Living off of caffeine not only feeds this and fuels this, but it's also going to constantly make you feel bloated. As well as the fact that caffeine, and then convincing yourself that quick meals, rushed meals, fast food is the way to go, is the real punishment to your body instead of the nourishment that you think it's giving. And it feels like you're giving yourself nourishment because you're feeding your body, because that's what you're taught, right? We're taught to feed our body instead of fuel it. We're supposed to feed it. And so then when your body is reaching out to you with these symptoms that are telling you, hey, this is not how you support me, this is not what I need, you think that there's something wrong with your body, and then you try to go fix it with a prescription or a surgery, or go to the doctor complaining, and then they give you a plan of a regimen of this is what you need to eat according to diet culture. Instead, realize that you have learned how to manage all of these symptoms instead of actually seeing the messages and hearing the signs and realizing these are not malfunctions, because your body is not malfunctioning. There's nothing wrong with your body. But instead, you were never meant to manage these things. You were never ever meant to be in this space. But society has programmed you into this space. Years of programming from watching TV and seeing them making a whole meal of eggs and bacon, sausage, biscuits and toast early in the AM with full of jam and sugar, syrup, maple syrup, not maple syrup, but pancake syrup. And they program this into you, highly processed apple juice and orange juice. And then you drink this and eat this early in the AM, which spikes your blood sugar, throws off the rest of your day. You have no stabilizers in this food. And so then now you're hungry by 11 o'clock and you're thinking you're starving because it's almost lunchtime. But in reality, you ate a big meal and you should have been full. But instead of you getting that healthy fiber, healthy fat, and natural healthy proteins from fruits and vegetables, you added in meat from animals and you're having a hard time processing that. And so then all of the nutrients that you were getting in these foods that you claim that are helping you build muscle and claim that are helping you be able to be supported throughout the day are only making your body have to work overtime to digest, which is going to cause you to use all the energy that you would convert from the meat that you were eating, from the dairy that you were consuming, to now turn itself into energy to convert to digest. So you're not using that energy the way that you think. This is the reason why after you eat your healthy meal of you getting your leanest proteins and you getting your healthy meats of you eating boiled chicken or whatever else, you get the itis and you get tired. This is the reason why when you believe in the diet culture that has poisoned you and you do what they tell you to do, you still have no energy. You feel sluggish. You might look good in the moment, so you're feeling good because you look good. But as soon as you go back to the old habits of you eating the same foods in the same space that you were, you feel uncomfortable. You don't like it. Now you've gained all the weight back. Thank you for the likes. And the reason why is because you never changed the foundation of what was unhealthy. You never got to the root cause of why you're having these malfunctions that you view your body's symptoms as, when they're not malfunctions. These are just signs and symptoms from the body to let you know that you are dysregular and you need to get back into the space of being balanced. You were never created to be tired, to be this bloated, to be sitting here disconnected from your womb as a woman, thinking that your cycle is a punishment or that having PMS is normal, because that's not normal. Your body is not malfunctioning, it's overloaded. You were never created to push through and push your body as much as we have in society, especially as women, because this is what we are taught. Push through, push your body. You'll make it. You'll be fine. Just get to the next day, right? And from the inside out, your liver is trying to filter out all these toxins through the products that you use that are exposed on your skin, to the foods that you eat that go inside of your body, and the stress that you store. And so now your liver is working overtime trying to compensate and fix all these problems that you do on the day, every single day. And then your pancreas is constantly being spiked because your blood sugar is sitting here being spiked every single day, which is your pancreas's job, is to regulate your blood sugar. So then now you're having crashes from skipping meals, or you're having crashes because you're drinking coffee with sugar, or you're having crashes because of your processed snacks. And then you add in meat and dairy, which are causing more of an overload to your body. And then on top of the fact that your liver and your pancreas are working overloaded, your gut is inflamed because you use no stabilizers and no balancers when it comes to your gut. And so then now your gut is overrun with bad bacteria and a whole bunch of food that it can't digest. And then now it's overrun with parasites. And these parasites are leaking all throughout your digestive tract, which are now feeding your cravings. Now your parasites are speaking for you of what you crave and what you think you need. And so then you go through life like this for years with with food that is lacking nutrients. And then you're feeding the parasites in a toxic space. Your gut is imbalanced. So now you're having bloating. You're having excess fat that is being stored because your liver can't filter out all these toxins anymore. And so now it's storing them. And you're dealing with a hormonal imbalance and you can't figure out why. But it's because your gut is off. And when your gut is off, your brain is directly connected to your gut. So these two are going to be sitting here dealing with an issue of balancing your hormones. And so now your hormones are off and you're feeling like you're PMSing and you're struggling. You can't figure out why. Or you're sitting here dealing with anxiety and depression and you don't know where it's coming from. And it's because you have dysregulated your body all the way up from your gut to your brain. This is not disconnected, but actually all synced together. Each one of these systems support each other to be balanced. And when they're not balanced, your hormones are going to be off. The same thing with your kidneys, because your kidneys are the filtration for your blood, right? But when you're not getting hydration on a cellular level, when you're not getting oxygen on a cellular level, you do realize that this is going to cause your kidneys to be dehydrated. And when your kidneys are dehydrated, this is going to stress them out. And this overload of stress is going to cause you to be low in nutrition from the foods that you already eat, and then it's not sitting there being able to convert any of the food that you use into energy. So now your kidneys are having to compensate, get rid of these toxins, help be able to pump blood and flow, and it's constantly having to work overtime than what it normally would do, what it would naturally do. And you using these malnourishing foods, as well as the fact that if you take antibiotics or if you use toxic products which are leaking into your blood, your hormones are waving a red flag saying, help me. And you haven't been taught how to listen to these symptoms, but instead be annoyed by them. And so then now you sit here and you think that these signals are problems instead of being a solution to bridge that gap for you to understand what your body is needing. And so instead of you realizing what your body is needing, you're thinking that, oh, I just need a gut cleanse and it's going to fix everything. I'm just going to start taking birth control because at the end of the day, I'm PMSing. And if I get birth control, I'll be fine. You're doing all these momentary band-aids hoping that this fixes you and helps you, and it won't, and it doesn't. It isn't just about your hormones, but it's actually you understanding that the lifestyle that you were living is being silenced. It's silencing your body. The lifestyle that you were living is about silencing. It's about managing it to make it to the next day. It's about making it to your next meal, helping yourself be able to make it to your job, helping yourself be able to make it to the next fast food, the next restaurant, spend that money, go back through the same cycle, do it all over again. And this emotional weight is overloading you. Not only with the stress that you have from work, from life in general, but from the foods that you eat. And no one really talks about the emotional toll of being out of balance. We feel it. We understand what being tired looks like or being anxious feels like. But you don't understand that you're sitting here crying and don't know why. You're feeling guilty for resting. You feel ashamed for actually eating because you should be eating in a calorie deficit. And you feel disconnected from your own desires when you're craving food. And so then now you punish yourself when you're craving food. But in reality, these are signs from your body to let you know you're not getting what you need. Instead of taking away food and restricting food, you need to find the foods that your body is actually needing. Because when you're giving it what it needs with the healthy fats, healthy proteins, your body isn't going to be sitting here crying out for help every single day and working against you or so like you feel like it. You won't be disconnected and thinking that you craving something is something to be ashamed of, but realizing that this is because you're lacking nutrients, or being hungry is something to be ashamed of because you should be hungry. You're a person. If you're not feeding yourself with healthy fats and healthy proteins, you're going to be hungry because those are the two key features that help you be able to feel full and to stay full longer that we're not getting in our food because they feed us fake fiber. They give us meat as our healthy fat and healthy protein. And like I just broke down, you're using more energy to try to break those down in your digestive tract than you are actually using to convert into energy to help these systems. And so then now you're emotionally tried and you're on survival mode. And you're not able to heal in this space. And when your organs are inflamed and overloaded, your soul feels inflamed and overloaded as well. And your soul is going to reflect that as well. It's emotional, it's physical, and it's spiritual. They all three go hand in hand. And so this is why you feel short-tempered, disconnected. You feel overwhelmed and withdrawn. You're sitting here dealing with that issue of now you're disconnected from your body. You're having that out-of-body experience. You're feeling like, and you're dealing with life on autopilot. And in reality, what you are looking for is a release, a reset. And I want you to know that it's not just in your head. It's not just your gut breaking down and it's struggling. It's not you just having IBS. It's in your cells. It's in your spirit. And your spirit is speaking to you, letting you know that it's longing for a reset, and you have not given that to it. Because you keep doing the same thing, expecting a different result, and it's not possible. So, what are we doing when it comes to returning? How do we get to this space? We have to clear this up because you need to understand that this isn't about a perfection. This is about protecting your body and supporting your system. Perfection is something that we strive to have, but at the end of the day is not the end goal. The end goal is for you to be balanced and protected, protecting your life, protecting your womb, protecting your peace, protecting the spirit, physical, mental, and emotional. All of these need protection. And how you protect yourself in a restoration space is you nourishing your gut with real whole foods that calms down the inflammation and releases it. Cleansing your liver with herbs and greens that remove the hormonal waste that you have going on, because when your liver is overloaded, it's holding on to excess hormones that should be released on the natural. When you are having an insulin spike and your insulin is not balanced, your blood sugar cannot be supported with the meals that you eat. And so every time you eat, you just continuously spike your blood sugar, go through a crash, spike your blood sugar, go through a crash. So you have to rebalance your blood sugar, rebalance your insulin, so that you are doing this, or that you need to do this rather, in a plant-based space. Support the kidneys with hydration on a cellular level and oxygen on a cellular level, so that way you do not become anemic. There are way too many women out here that are anemic, and they think it's because they bleed every single month. And in reality, the only reason why y'all are so anemic is because you are not hydrated on a cellular level, you're not oxygenated on a cellular level, and you're not eating your iron, which can be really simple to get. We're sitting here thinking that you need to eat tons of greens and salads every single week and month, and we're sitting here hating it because nobody wants to eat a salad as often as we think that we need to be eating it. And in reality, all you need for you to get enough iron, and I made a video on this, is you sitting here eating a couple of dates a day. That's it. It's not hard at all. Dates are sweet. They're delicious. You don't have to sit here and eat a whole bunch of spinach when you know that you don't want to eat spinach every day. I love my spinach. A lot of people like spinach, but who wants to eat spinach and salads every single day? I eat a salad when I crave it. I have been plant-based for over 4.5 years. It's going to be 5 in October. I'm not sitting here thinking that I have to eat a salad every single day and I'm struggling to figure out what to eat outside of salads. Because you know why? I know what my body needs, because it gives me the cravings that support me, rather than sitting here having sugar cravings and thinking, oh my goodness, my cravings are the enemy. But you have to get out of the space of diet culture to realize that your cravings are the enemy. Your cravings are trained. Healing your womb starts with you syncing with your cycle, not suppressing it with prescriptions or some type of birth control. Realizing that when your cycle is off, that means your body is off and over inflamed. And so why are you in this space, and how do we get away from this space? When you eat from the earth, you return to what your body is supposed to feel like and understand what the world has done to you to made you sick. When you eat from the earth, you finally feel connected and balanced with yourself again, because that's how you flush and you reset. There is a reason why the earth produces vegetation, and yet we're not eating enough of it. And you claiming that you eat a couple fruits, a couple vegetables out of the week as sides and little snacks is not enough. You thinking that that's enough is the programming that you were under that has made you sick. The reason why your healing journey hasn't stuck and it hasn't done what you really wanted it to do is because you've tried you've tried the pills, you've sat here and done the fast, you've tried supplements, you've tried medications. A lot of people are trying surgeries nowadays, and you haven't ever actually figured out what works and gives you results for the long term. People work out hard and they still don't even see the results that they want and what they're looking for. And you know why nothing lasts for you? Why nothing lasts is because you're sitting here dealing with managing symptoms instead of healing them. You cannot manage and heal in the system that is making you sick. You don't need another cleanse. You don't need to sit here and make a New Year's resolution. You don't need a hustle plan. You don't need to sit here and try to figure out what diet is going to work with keto, paleo, or Weight Watchers. But you need to understand that you need to be balanced and in harmony and sync with your body. And the way that you do that is eating from the earth, and understand how plant-based foods support you in every aspect. Eating more plant-based foods, supporting the body fully. When you actually understand the space of how detoxification and cleansing comes at a certain point of your cycle, so you should be doing it every single month, you'll actually reap the benefits of cleansing and detoxing. You'll actually see the change inside of your body. You'll realize that you don't have to go hard in the gym if you are not a gym girly for you to be healthy, because you actually eat to nourish your body and use food as your medicine. Learning how to rebalance your hormones through cycle syncing, healing the root cause, not just covering up symptoms and managing, and reconnecting with your feminine flow, all by living in a plant-based space. This is how you become a high-functioning woman who isn't exhausted and surviving, but is actually thriving and rebalanced and in that feminine reset space that you need to be in currently. Because people were talking about the 2030 agenda, but you're not realizing that we're already in it. We are in that agenda already. And that agenda is against your health. They are profiting off of us being diabetic, being in the space of high blood pressure, not knowing how to take care of our body and sync with our cycle. So having all these issues with fertility and our cycle being painful. And when you are ready to actually balance your body and know how to do these things and realize that your body's cravings are trained, and so that we need to reparent and to reprogram these things so that we are actually supported, you will start doing this from a plant-based space, and you will learn how to do it effectively and have a strategy to do these things. And if you were in the space where you're like, I don't want to feel this anymore, I'm not meant for this hustle, but I'm meant to balance and to heal from a safe space, and not only a safe space, but a sustainable space, I have my Balanced Body program. This Balanced Body program is going to help you be able to detox your system from a plant-based space, plant-based nourishment, rebalance your hormones, get to the root cause of these problems that you're having, and not just cover them up, but actually digest and to realize that this has been programmed into you, and it's easy to release them, but you have to understand how. Releasing these toxic chemicals and toxic products, making your own non-toxic products, learning how to make these plant-based foods, and do it from a space that is simplified instead of sitting here thinking that it has to be hard and you struggling. You do not have to hustle through this space. You're not broken. You are just becoming into a balanced space and learning how they have poisoned you and have not supported you as a woman. And you have to do this from getting out of this cycle chaotic space into the space of being clarified in what your cycle is supposed to look like and what it's supposed to feel like. And if you are ready to learn how to do that, I am helping women do that in my Balanced Body program. So what questions do you guys have for me about balancing, about the program, about making your body feel like a home again? Any questions for me? And if you don't have any questions, I'm gonna hop off. I appreciate all the likes, and I appreciate you guys for the comments. I saw somebody ask me about coconut water earlier. I usually answer questions at the end. I don't know if they're still here. Coconut water is great. I give coconut water to my dog. It's great for flushing. It's absolutely amazing for the body. You need to make sure that it is not only like from a good brand, organic. I like to get the ones that are in like paper cartons. Those are like my favorite go-tos. I usually get those at Costco. But just make sure they're organic, make sure it's non-GMO. And yeah, it's pretty good. It's good. It's great for hydration, honestly and truly, especially since it's so hot out here. If you feel ever hydrated, like dehydrated, you've had a hard workout, a hard day, coconut water is amazing for you to be able to rebalance that, because it's very hydrating for one, and then on top of that, you get a bunch of vitamins and minerals. It's really good if you pair it with like lime, lemon, for like if you work out really hard and you need to rebuild those electrolytes. It's a really good way for you to replenish electrolytes. That is something for people who do like to go to the gym, or if they're heavy on working out. That's one thing that I recommend to them when they're asking me about like replenishing electrolytes, for people who drink like Gatorade and Powerades, or take pre-workouts and things like that, or whatever it is like you take afterwards. I'm not a big gym person, but I know what they are. And so I help them be able to help that build back up with that without actually having to use all the other stuff. Because what I teach you is how to use food as your medicine. Food is your solution. You don't have to go to supplements and tinctures. You don't have to sit here and go back and forth to the doctor and get a prescription or a pill, or even use herbs in the beginning until you learn exactly what is not working for you and what does in the space that you are. Because that's what I teach. We use herbs at the end. I don't teach you how to make non-toxic products and herbs until the end, because you do need to learn how to use food as your medicine and eat your way into your health. And it can be simplified. It is simple. We're not taught how to simplify it, but it is really simple. It's not hard at all. But we are taught from a space of making it complicated with diet culture and calorie counting and restricting and doing the gym gurus with macros and micros and all these different things. And so it makes you overwhelmed and uncomfortable. So then you think that you can't do it right and you don't know how to do it because they give it to you from a perfectionist space. Nobody is telling you have to perfect anything. I'm helping you be able to understand and educate yourself so that you know what to do moving forward and sustaining that space. Not just sitting here playing a guessing game and hoping that it works, but sustaining. And so what questions do you guys have? I'm going to give you about a minute. If I don't see any, I'm going to hop off. Thank you for the likes. I really do appreciate it because it can be simplified and it will be simplified if you know how to do that. But if you don't know how to do it, you're just going to be constantly playing a guessing game of not knowing how to help your body. And then you're going to be wondering why nothing is working and you're hating this lifestyle and then you're hating the journey and then you don't like the cleanse. And it doesn't have to be this way. Long story short, it doesn't have to be this way. This is just what we have been programmed into. This is what society teaches us. And so when you are ready to release that and you see the programming, you see what the hidden agenda is, and you understand that you don't have to struggle, nor do any of these things running your family, but rather this was taught to you and your family, and it's been raised generation to generation, women not knowing how to balance their hormones or sync with their cycle, you will understand very quickly that we are already in the 2030 agenda. And them projecting to make $1 trillion profit off of people being diabetic and obese alone is mainly women. Because women have an insulin resistant time during their cycle when they are not supposed to be eating all this sugar. And that's usually when you are sitting there craving the most sugar. And that's because you have no stabilizers. So I'm not seeing any questions. So I hope that this has supported you. If you are on YouTube watching this replay afterwards, I answer any questions that you have. Drop them down below in the comments. And also don't forget to subscribe. If you guys are here on TikTok and you have not subscribed to my YouTube, it is linked in my bio. That balanced body program that is going to help you be able to get that cycle seeking clarity, as well as making your plant-based foods and your non-toxic products, is also linked in my bio. You can get everything with Klarna Affirm and Afterpay. And if you are dealing with diabetes and you need support in that space, I do have a Eating Away Diabetes Cookbook that is linked in my bio. If you're dealing with insulin resistance, if you're dealing with the lack of hydration, this is all going to help you be able to support yourself in that space with my Eating Away Diabetes Cookbook. So I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. We will try to be back tomorrow. I'm going to try to be back tomorrow since I have not done 3 lives today. Or 3 lives this week, rather, not today. So I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. I hope this has supported you. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the likes. And I'm out, y'all. Peace. You're so